Liverpool have just smashed Man United at Old Trafford 3-0. We're going to have a look at the stats and everything like that, the lineups and some of the big moments in this game. Because we've seen Liverpool smash Man United in the past, but today it thought maybe Ten Hag with his summer recruitment and a new manager in Arne Slot, maybe things would be different. No. So if we look at the two starting 11s, on Liverpool's side we've got Alisson, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson. Standard back four. In midfield we're getting a really good looking Gravenberch so far this season. McAllister and Szoboszlai really is now playing as a 10 in this Arne Slot system. Previously you saw him a bit further back under Klopp and it wasn't working as well, but as a 10 he's looking good. Mo Salah on the right hand side, he's going to turn into an FPL necessity and I'm going to have to somehow find a way to get him in alongside Haaland. I don't know how it's going to happen. Unbelievable again from Mo. Luis Diaz with a brace on the left hand side and Jota up front. Of course, the one I have in FPL. But then on Man United side, Onana gets given a 4.8 rating. Seems a bit harsh. Dalot is at left back because they don't have any fit ones. Lisandro Martinez and De Ligt starting together for the first time today instead of Maguire, who has previously been in with Martinez. Mazraoui at right back, of course. Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo with a terrible, terrible joint performance today. We'll get on to Casemiro in a minute. Garnacho on the right instead of Amad Diallo, who's actually been really good so far this season. Bruno in the hole, Rashford on the left, and Joshua Zirkzee gets his first start. So, who stood out and who was terrible today? Casemiro had one of the worst halves of football of a top player. I know he's not as much of a top player anymore, but in terms of their career, it's one of the worst halves of football I've ever seen someone of that quality have. The amount of passes that he gave away and the times he was caught on the ball. Both of the goals in the first half were because of him. The first one, he passed it straight to a Liverpool player. The second one, he was caught on the ball. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And was taken off at half-time for Toby Collier. Yeah, that's the level of Casemiro performance we saw today. Kobbie Mainoo, also not good today. He was losing the ball way more than normal, and their midfield was just getting completely overrun, dominated. Gravenberch, there's a reason why his match rating is so high without a goal involvement. He was pivotal to the domination at Old Trafford today. McAllister getting stuck in as well. He won the ball back a couple of times in some really, really big situations. One of them nearly directly leading to a goal. So, the midfield was terrible. Martinez and De Ligt, they had some good moments, some good tackles. It's fine, right? But they just couldn't handle the crazy amount of players that Liverpool just always get forward. Onana getting a 4.8 does seem a bit harsh. I mean, he couldn't do anything about either of the goals. So, I don't know. To be fair, his kicking out wasn't incredible. Garnacho and Rashford, again, moments players that didn't really have consistent input today. Bruno was putting in some decent chances. Rashford did actually put in a couple of crosses for Zirkzee, who also had a really bad game. His second touch is a tackle, is a phrase that is used often for taller players. That was the case today. His dribbling, it was so loose. And he had some really good opportunities today. Some fantastic headed opportunities that you've got to score. If you're starting up front for Man United and you get the chances that Zirkzee had today, you have to take at least one of them. And it just was not good enough. So, really, really poor from him, Casemiro and Mainoo today. Salah and Diaz. Salah assisting Diaz twice in the first half. And it just made it look easy. Mazraoui was nowhere to be seen for the first goal at the back post. There were two of them, Szoboszlai and Diaz, both going for the same header. No Man United player in the picture. Ridiculous. And then the second one, actually a really good pass by Salah outside the boot. And Diaz with the first time finish. Catches everybody off guard, bangs it bottom corner near post. It's really impressive, it has to be said. And then Salah managing to get a goal himself in the second half due to a Szoboszlai assist. So based on what I've said, it probably seems like it was an absolute demolition. But at times, if we look at the facts and like the momentum graph and these stats here, 3 big chances for United, 4 for Liverpool. This is the difference. If you're clinical, this scoreline doesn't happen. You see these ones here, right? These spikes for Man United. That's when they're on top. They're creating chances in the opposition box and getting the ball in around those areas. So 1.36 XG is really not bad. You comfortably can get 2 or 3 goals in a game with that kind of XG. We see it all the time. I mean, Liverpool, they got 3 goals today with a 1.73 XG, and that's not including an offside goal that they scored, where Salah got the tiniest touch on it, and then Trent followed it in and scored, but he was offside, so it's fair enough. That was only 7 minutes in. So, as you see, this is the timeline of how everything went. Casemiro went off. It really didn't make that much difference because, again, Mainoo was not having a good game either. Maguire came on, Diallo, Eriksen. It didn't make enough of a difference. If we look at the stats themselves, then you will see possession actually in Man United's favour. I believe in the first half, yeah, it was very, very even. And then they had a little bit more as it went on. There were periods where they did, I think maybe like the first 15, 20 minutes, they had 65%. So after it got past about half an hour into this game, that was it. United were completely out of it. Shots were in Liverpool's favour, and accurate passes actually in Man United's. More corners as well, but shot stuff in Liverpool's favour. I don't know what some of these things mean. I mean, what is an XG on target? Because I feel like every time I click on this kind of thing, like, everyone knows what XG is, right? But is this just based on... Well, no, it can't be based on the shots on target, because their XGOT is higher than their XG, but then Man United's is significantly lower. I don't understand what that stat is. But there you go. Defence. There were some big tackles put in by Man United. Clearances by Liverpool. They were getting rid of it. The amount of crosses that United managed to try and put in. As you can see, accurate crosses. They had more than Liverpool, but only 32% of them were actually accurate. So that pretty much summed them up, really, in this game. We look at duels as well. Aerial duels won Liverpool, again, mainly from those crosses that were coming in. And here are the top-rated players in this game. Look how far down you have to get to a Man United player. And that's a sub that's coming on for Casemiro. It's really, really not good. So, Liverpool comfortably deserved to win today. They were on top for a massive chunk of this game. And so, once again, the question has to be asked. Man United, you've been here now for a couple of years. Ten Hag. Schlott's been here for a couple of months. And I know you can say that, like, he takes Klopp's team and therefore some of Klopp's tactics and stuff like that will just continue. The players are really good. But you have had a good amount of time now to grow this team and squad. This is really poor. I will give Ten Hag a tiny, tiny bit of, like, you know what, it's not your fault. You can't expect Casemiro to drop genuinely like a 1 out of 10 half. Especially the start of this season. He's actually been pretty good. But this game, he was dreadful. If he wasn't having anywhere near as bad of a game, maybe they would have had more control and possession in midfield and therefore would have been able to get to the forwards quicker and actually got some goals. We won't know. Ugarte has come in for United towards the end of the transfer window. Is he going to completely transform that midfield? Him, Kobe and Bruno as a trio? Is that what we're going to see going forward? Maybe after the international break. We'll have to wait and see. That could be game-changing because you simply cannot have people like Casemiro having the performances they did today and expect to win these games. You just can't. So, it's a damning statement, really, put out by Liverpool to show Man United, yeah, we'll put you in your place. This is what we're doing this season. You stay down there. We'll worry about title races and top 4 and stuff like that. And so the question will be, how do they bounce back from this? We've obviously got an international break coming up. We will do some videos over the course of that, assessing what we've seen in the Premier League so far, and how some teams are going to have to reassess themselves in this period of time off, and whether they can come back bigger, stronger. I don't know what Man United's next fixture is when they come back. They have got Southampton away. You can't ask for much better than that, right? You should be going away and slapping these. Early kickoff on a Saturday. You've got 2 weeks until that game. You should be perfectly fine. So, we'll see if that is what happens. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts about United in the comments. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.